to Steel Division Normandy 44. So today I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to do one pretty short video, which is basically going to be talking about my deck and what I've got going on in there. So if anybody has any good ideas or anything, they can throw them in the comments, and hopefully we can build a good strong deck together. So I'm still playing the 3rd Armored Spearhead, and well, let's just get started. Let's dive right into it. So right off the bat, in my scout or my recon section for the phase A, I have scouts in a jeep, which I'm thinking about removing this because the invisible or the disappearing jeeps, it actually got me once in the game that I'll upload in a minute. I played a 1v1 where I accidentally dumped the scouts out too early, and then they were basically hoofing it. So I may switch those guys out. I have actually 2 of them. Both of these guys are scouts and jeeps, and I have found ever since getting some tips from some other players, these they're 30 cals or 7.62 jeeps. They're not too bad. I mean, especially for early game, they pin infantry down and they help your infantry overrun their infantry. So I may end up switching out all these guys up here, these jeeps in phase A for the 30 cal jeeps or the 7.62 jeeps. Next is phase B. I have the M8, and phase C I have the M8. Now at first I didn't really like these guys. I just didn't see the point because they have bad stealth and their optics is high as opposed to scouts, which their optics is very high and they have very good stealth. But oh man, especially when playing in a 1v1 game, first of all, unlike scouts, they do push the front line zone back and forward. So it's very, very nice to push one way down a flank. And in my last game, one of my M8s took out 2 enemy tanks with flank shots, which is very, very helpful. So sending these guys on flanking runs and kind of surprising enemy tanks and whatnot is very nice. So that's why I've now put 2 of them in B and 2 of them in C, and 8 units of scouts is usually enough for a game. Next, the infantry tab. So at first I had nothing but arm rifles infantry with the 66mm heat bazookas. Yeah, that was a big mistake because these guys lose to any focused infantry. So if you get, well, I haven't really had a lot of effectiveness with engineers so far, but if you run into, say, something like the light machine gun, armed light machine gun rifles, they are going to tear you up. So before I had nothing but those guys, but now in phase A, of course, you have to have them because I don't really have anything to switch them out with besides leaders. And I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about throwing leaders in there. If I should replace one of these arm rifles with leaders, because I originally had 4 and 3, but I ran into some infantry problems in phase A, and infantry is really strong. They of course come with the M3 HT, which has a 7.62. Again, I'm really a big fan of these. Once getting the tips to use them to cover your infantry, they really help out, and they're nice for probing the enemy, and when you lose them, doesn't really matter. Next I have engineer leader. I think I used them once and they failed pretty hard, and by them I mean I failed pretty hard with it. I kind of took it because it did have the what appears to be amphibious 4 GPA, but I haven't really had a lot of use out of them. If anybody has, definitely let me know in the comments how they've worked out for you. I'm not really sure what the Frag, I believe that says Frag grenade. Yeah, Frag grenade accomplishes. I'm guessing in buildings it flushes infantry or something like that, or infantry in cover. Next, we have more arm rifles with the bazookas in phase B. And then this is where, for the remainder of phase B, I brought the 1917 HMG, and this, I'm not quite sure what is this rifle, does it tell you? The Browning 1919 A6. So having this unit is definitely a big help for light machine gun rifles, or 2 of them actually per unit, is very, very nice. And then of course we're back at the M3A1 HT, which has the 50 cal 12.7 millimeter. Over here, not sure I'm gonna keep these guys. They're good if you can get them into buildings. I haven't really found quite the use for them yet because, well, my positioning hasn't been spot on. But I have seen them hold off infantry pretty well. In the game I upload, I do use them, so we'll take a look at that. But let me know what you think of these guys. If maybe I should just bring another light machine gun unit or stick it out with these heavy machine guns. Tanks. Okay, this is the armored division, so we start out with 2 command tanks and 5 M5A1s. These are not too bad. They usually stick around well into B if you've been playing them well. So I'm happy with those. They do well in support of infantry. I just have to be a little more on my toes and make sure they don't get in front of my infantry, and they have good line of sight to cover my infantry. In Phase B, we have a command M4A1 and the M4, or quite a few actually, M4A3 and M4A3 again. Again, these are just very strong mid-game tanks. I didn't really use very many, and I haven't really been on top of putting command tanks with or near my regular line tanks. So definitely let me know, guys, what you think about, like, how much of a priority is it. I'm assuming it's pretty good, but I haven't been focused on that. I got to train myself to do it. Next, Phase C, we have the Jumbo. I really like the Jumbo. They don't do well taking out enemy tanks, especially in Phase C, but they do really well absorbing damage and not fleeing. So there's been more than a few times where a Jumbo's been in a 1v1 versus a tank, and it causes the other tank to fall back. Although it doesn't destroy it, it does cause the other tank to fall back, which is nice. I think coupling a Jumbo with an M4A3 76W would be really good. Let's get this out of here. Get out of there. Would be really good just because the M4A3 has a much stronger main gun as opposed to, so you've got, what is that, AP11 and 30, AP13 and 35. I'm not sure what the 35 is. Let's see. Meaning ammunition. No, I don't want ammunition. Let's see. Yeah, higher the AP value. Okay, I'm not going to read this to you guys while we're here. But anyways, so yeah, I definitely think I need to, lately I've been pulling these out by themselves. I think it would be better off to save up the points and drop 2 of these out together behind some infantry, or at least roll them up behind infantry, and then having this to tank the shots, the Jumbo to tank the shots, and the M4s to do the damage. Next is the support tab. So in A and B, I have a total of 8 logistics vehicles. I didn't do that well last game pulling in my logistics vehicles. I need to stay a little bit more on top of that. I had a few vehicles running out of ammo. Next, the M20 Command in A is awesome. I really like the M20 Command. The first game I used it in was last game, and man, it really covered my infantry well. It doesn't have a huge gun, it's just got the 50 cal on it, but it has 3 armor in the front, 2 on the sides, and 2 in the rear, which early game is actually pretty decent. So I got quite a good bit of use out of this, because if you look back at the infantry, they all come with, you know, the M3, which 2 in the front, 1 on the sides, usually gets destroyed or blown up pretty fast if there's any tanks or anti-tank guns. At least this thing can put a little bit of damage out, which is very nice. I brought flamethrowers and Jeeps. I have yet to use them. If anybody's used the M8 Scott or maybe the Jeeps with the 50 cals, let me know, because I haven't really used them. I haven't really found a use for them. I don't know how strong they are. I mean, strength is 2. It has a flamethrower. I'm assuming it's deadly against infantry, but again, I think it's very situational, and so I haven't had an opportunity to use them yet. And those come in B with the 5 extra logistics. Anti-tank, I just have 3 57 millimeters in A, 2 76 millimeters in B, and 3 76 millimeters in C. And my last game, about halfway through the one you'll see shortly here, I finally figured out putting these things on the edge of a tree line. Oh man. And using C to check what their line of sight is going to be is fantastic. They can really hold the line for you very, very well. And then pushing infantry up in front of them really just worked out well. So that I was pretty happy with. They also come with the little M3s. Hang on, where is it? There it is. The M3HT, which again, nice little covering vehicle, good for probing, good to just kind of spread out across your line, which has again helped quite a bit. Anti-air. I haven't really been using a lot of anti-air. I usually avoid the Bofors just because I don't like setting them up, but I put one in last game, and yeah, I'm not going to make that mistake again. Those things, you drop one just a little bit behind your lines, or even two, you know, towards the center of the map. Wow, those take out planes fast. So those are going to become a definite regular usage gun. Still keeping the M16s because, well, they're nice. They easily redeploy if you need to put them on the flanks or something like that, which at the end of my last game I dumped out a whole bunch of anti-air, which helped out quite a bit because I was getting bombed like crazy. And again, M15s in B and C. So just kind of picking up where the M16s left off. What's the difference in gun? Okay, so this has a 37 millimeter and 12.7, and this is just 450 cals. So this main gun is actually pretty awesome, even for anti-infantry and whatnot. So when you're, or even some vehicles. So if you just kind of peek it out behind a tree or something like that, not only can you drop planes, but you can take out the enemy, you know, light vehicles and stuff pretty well. And even flank shots on some bigger tanks is pretty nice. So next is artillery. Last game I didn't use a huge amount of artillery until the very end. I brought in some. I should have used it a little bit more, but I have mortars. Don't really like using infantry mortars just because the range is kind of low, and I don't know. I'm not quite there yet. I'm pretty sure they're probably pretty good. Let me know again in the comments what you guys think, if you've had good success with the infantry mortars. And then also in A, I have the vehicle-borne mortars, which have 1,200 meter range, which is much better. But again, haven't really used those too much. Now, what I have used is the M4A1s with the 155 millimeter battery. Those are pretty awesome, and those batteries are nasty. So I usually try to bring one in per game, and then the same thing with these M7s. I did have 4 of those originally, and no M20, or I'm sorry, no 60 millimeter mortars, but I dropped one of them out and just stuck with 2 because that's pretty much enough. But these are pretty powerful as well, especially if you're shooting and moving. And kind of on top of the micromanagement of them. So that's my my artillery tab. And finally we have air. So in air, I originally had R.U.S.E, but I took the R.U.S.E out because, you know, I should have enough over here in Recon. Should have enough scouts out to deal with that. And the P-38 Lightning early on with the 110 millimeter rockets, I believe that is. Yeah, 110 millimeter rockets, M8 rockets. Those things, are they rockets or bazookas? I think they're rockets. Those things are awesome. I really got a lot of use out of them. Early tanks, they definitely can, if they don't make them fall back, or if they don't destroy them, they definitely make them fall back. And any anti-tank guns that come out early, those get shot off the map real fast with this thing. And the P-38 Lightning is durable enough that you're in and out no problem. Even if you're getting shot by AA. And I have 2 of those. In B, I have 2 P-47 Thunderbolts. Again, these have 127 millimeter rockets, and even late tanks, just one strafing run with these HVAR, I don't know how you say that, rockets, will at a minimum get them close to, if not falling back. So if you need that quick air support, they are very, very helpful. And you'll see in my last game, I had quite the Air Force. My opponent was very disappointed in his lack of AA, I'm sure. And finally, the P-38 Lightning, which, man, those 450 kg M65 bombs are incredible. So those are really, really nice. You'll always make whatever you target with those fall back at a minimum. You can devastate infantry, you can devastate anti-tank guns, anything that doesn't have a lot of armor, you're going to really mess up. And again, P-38 Lightnings are really durable, so I definitely like that choice. I do only have one of them. I've kind of been considering bringing an additional one, dropping the 2 ranks, but I don't know. This experience is very, very helpful, so we'll see. But anyways, guys, that is my list. That is my deck, I should say, for the 3rd Armored Spearhead. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any tips or comments or anything like that. And what I'll do shortly here is also get the battle I played with this deck uploaded, so if anyone wants to take a look, they can watch it. There's a few things I did pretty well, a couple things that definitely need some help. But again, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like. It definitely helps me out. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel for plenty more videos like it. Once again, thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.